Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture. He's Phil Chambers from WhatCulture. We are here in Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend. Thanks again to Surfshark for getting us out here for this. And we're here to bring you our Night 1 WrestleMania predictions. Phil, let's dive straight into it with the match that's going to open Night 1 of WrestleMania. That being Jey Uso challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Who you got?
Well, I think they're going to kick WrestleMania off with a heel winning. Set the crowd up right good for the rest of the show. Because I don't see Jey Uso going home with the belt. I don't think it's time to take it off Gunther in any way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, I don't think Jey Uso is the man to do it in the long run, regardless of winning the Royal Rumble and being one of the most over people in the world.
Has your prediction changed because it's not main eventing? If it was main eventing, would you think there'd be a title change?
No, I think it'd probably be even less likely if it was main eventing for some reason. I mean, you never know. Jey Uso might pull it out, but it's just, I don't see him as the guy, like the main guy.
I'm going to go with Jey. I think they're going to open it up. I mean, it's going to be not a fun affair. I think he's going to bleed an absolute gusher in there, and Gunther's going to beat the crap out of him basically for the first 10 minutes of the match. But I think in the end they are going to crown Jey Uso. It's not only because of like him winning the Rumble and the options that opens up in terms of who could be the next World Heavyweight Champion. You've also got these stories about Goldberg, and it's like that's a perfect fill-in if Gunther's not going to do something world title related. I'd be fine with Gunther retaining, obviously, but I think they're going to hopefully kick off Night 1 of WrestleMania slightly happier than you're anticipating.
Well, they've done it before.
Well, yeah, fair point.
They've got priors.
But yes, lots to look forward to with that one. But before we go any further with our predictions, a quick word from our sponsors. A big thanks to Surfshark for getting us to WrestleMania and sponsoring all of our content from Las Vegas. Surfshark's VPN is brilliant. It makes sure all your stuff stays private and secure when you're out and about online, and they have a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Not only that, but it allows you to change your virtual location to access all of your favorite content, which means you could watch all of WWE shows on Netflix, not just Raw, but NXT and SmackDown as well. There's no ads, and it even allows you to see the extra content us Brits get to see too. Stuff like this. Just click the link in the description and use code WhatCultureMania at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Thanks again to Surfshark, and now we move on, Phil, to the World Tag Team title match. It is the War Raiders against the New Day, a very unpopular New Day. Are they leaving with the tag titles, though?
Well, if this does actually go on after Jey Uso, and it's going to be a heel run for me, because I think the New Day desperately need this after one of the best heel turns before Cena did his heel turn, probably. And then after that, they just kind of ruined it and did nothing with it. And they were just doing the weird little backstage promos during the adverts for a lot of it. And it's like they've not pulled the trigger on this anywhere near as much as they should do. So I feel like this should be the hard reset of the New Day heel turn. Have them beat the Viking Raiders and then have them be the most bastard champions that you could possibly be going forwards. And I think they desperately need this.
Yeah, they're going to win, I think, as well. And they can be sneaky in a regular tag match. I don't know with what they alluded to on Raw, whether they're going to stip this up, because the War Raiders basically said this is war, and I thought, what does that mean? We obviously had the Viking rules match back when they were Viking Raiders. War rules? Okay. Yep. Either way, yeah, I think you do need to give these tag titles to the New Day just to legitimize this heel turn.
Are we going to see any tentacle monsters for this one, do you think?
I hope not. I'm intrigued to see if there will be a Big E appearance somewhere across this weekend. I would love to see it, but I feel like that might be better on like the Raw after WrestleMania as they're celebrating being complete bellends. And he come out and be like, "Man, when you were nice, guys." Because like you say, that heel turn was sensational, but it's not lost its way. It just hasn't really been given the impetus that I really thought they were going to. Let's move on and talk about Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. A divisive match, let's say.
Yeah, there's been aspects of the build that they have instantly regretted and moved on from. But I think this has got to be Rey Mysterio. It's finally breaking my streak of heel wins. As much as I would love just a completely heel win WrestleMania for Night 1, it'd just be really funny. I think it just makes sense to have Rey Mysterio win this. El Grande Americano, doesn't really matter if he wins or loses, really.
Unmasked?
Ray can't be the guy to unmask a luchador. Come on.
Or they can do a mask versus mask following this if Ray wins, maybe.
That would work. Yeah, that'd be good fun. But it's got to be Rey Mysterio for this one.
Yes. I don't think you can have an El Grande Americano win at WrestleMania against Ray. And like you say, I think, having him win would make everyone a lot happier. And, you can have whoever El Grande Americano is, come out on the Raw after WrestleMania and say, "You cheated," because there'll be no doubt shenanigans with both sides bringing people in to try and counteract the Creed brothers or whoever it may be.
I do think this is going to be a really fun match, though. Like, as a matchup, those two, like, this should be really, really good fun. It's probably not going to get, like, the longest match you'll ever see in your life, but I think this will be a really good, fun 10 minutes.
I mean, interested to see if, like, you have the Creed brothers, them being counteracted by, like, the LWO getting involved. If Chad Gable gets involved in this, like, who's the person to chase him off?
That just changes everything, really, doesn't it? And you never know what can happen at WrestleMania.
I hope he's feeling better. That's all I care about. It's a shame he's missing WrestleMania. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about a match I've been very excited for quite a few months now. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I've got to say, I think Naomi's heel turn has been brilliantly done in terms of, I had my concerns about whether or not she was going to be able to be sort of embraced as a heel, if that makes sense, because it's Naomi, everyone loves her, but she's done amazingly. Unfortunately, this is where her being a brilliant heel maybe comes to an end, because Jade Cargill's going to destroy her.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this one. I think, like, it could genuinely go both ways, and I could see it going forwards both ways, and it'd be fine. But it's like, you can't really have Jade Cargill, after everything that's happened to her, not win this one and run through her. I will say, I think the build for this has been like one of the better builds for the WrestleMania cards, definitely. The initial heel turn promo segment with her and Bianca Belair was like excellent, where they were like crying in the ring. That was great. And then the video package promo things that they've been doing with them as well have been really well put together and sort of really cementing this Naomi heel turn character within that. So I've really, really enjoyed that part of it. But I think they just need to go out, kick each other's ass, and I think Jade Cargill needs this one to sort of go forwards, but it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this one.
I agree. I think Naomi's going to bump like crazy for Jade and make her look like a megastar, because I feel like a title match, maybe not necessarily a title win, but a big title match is in Jade Cargill's future following WrestleMania. But I think they're going to put on a hell of a show, a bit like WhatCulture is across this weekend. Phil Chambers, where are we, what days, and what can people expect?
Where aren't we is the question. We're bloody everywhere. I mean, if you pan the camera just over there to the HyperX Arena, we are there on Friday night for a massive SmackDown watch party and the final show of the WhatCulture Wrestling World Tour. It's going to be a massive SmackDown watch party. Ups and Downs is going to be live after it. There's live podcast, Q&A, meet and greets, loads of stuff like that. WhatCulture.com/tickets. There are limited tickets still available, so get them while you can. But then Saturday and Sunday night, straight after WrestleMania, we're going to be at the bloody Luxor Hotel and Casino, just over there in the Aurora Bar, straight after WrestleMania. It's the closest casino to the Allegiant Stadium. You just get the bridge and you're right in there. So come to Aurora Bar in Luxor straight after WrestleMania, and we'll be doing live Ups and Downs inside the goddamn casino. And not only that, if you just go over there, there's Mandalay Bay, and we will be in Flanker for a Raw watch party for the Raw after WrestleMania, obviously. So we are gonna be everywhere, and make sure you come down and say hi. All three of those events are completely free. WhatCulture.com/tickets for the Friday night one. It's gonna be a good time.
Anything's possible in the pyramid.
Anything's possible in the pyramid.
Follow the beam. Just look for the beam in the sky and come and join us for an amazing series of shows. As Phil said, WhatCulture.com/tickets if you want to join us for that one. Right, let's talk US title, Phil. It is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I really like LA Knight. He's not going to have a good time on Saturday.
Oh, no, he's not. I don't think you can stop Jacob Fatu in this run. There is not a goddamn chance he isn't going home with that belt, and he is going to look tasty surrounded by gold. I can't
He's already licked it.
It's just ridiculous. And then I hope he just goes on one of the most dominant runs you could possibly imagine and kicks everybody's ass, because he's goddamn great.
Yeah, it's the Gunther IC title blueprint, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just do that, but with way more intensity.
Yes.
And it's going to be great. But yeah, any world LA Knight wins this?
Not for me, unless they do something involving the new bloodline with Solo and with Tama Tonga. But we'll talk a little bit more about Solo on our Night 2 predictions, because I sense that he may be the one asked to fill into the shoes of Kevin Owens. But we'll talk more about that in our other video, which we'll link to at the end of this one. Following that, we will talk about the match that is most likely to take place in the Fight Pit across WrestleMania weekend. That's Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's title. I mean, this was already interesting on paper the moment Charlotte Flair punched a ticket to WrestleMania. From then on, it's gone from, well, this could be interesting, a sort of, a legend of the industry versus one of the big up-and-coming stars from NXT. And then the promos happened.
Oh, this is gonna be so good. The gloves are off. The heat is real. God damn it. And I can't wait. This is one of my most anticipated matches of the weekend, just because of those promo segments that we've had. And you just know when Charlotte gets a bit of anger behind her, the fists come out and it all gets a little bit messy.
We all saw that fight with Nia Jax.
Yeah, and I can't wait to just wallow in the mess of it all. It's going to be really, really good fun and exciting. I can't call who wins this because you can never bet against Charlotte Flair because she's Charlotte Flair and she wins and that's just what she does. But I feel like Tiffany Stratton desperately needs this one more. And so I'm going to go with Tiffany because that's just what it should be.
Yes.
You never know.
Yeah, like you say with this one, it's who bets against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Yeah. I'm hoping in a weird way that what's gone on between the two of them has weirdly sort of enamored them to each other. There's sort of a respect. Yeah, there's a respect that Charlotte Flair now has for Tiffany that she has fired back, because there was that promo when they were in, I think it was Italy, when they did the sit down, and it was like, oh, Tiffany's been destroyed there on the microphone, and then she's come back, and we all saw what happened following that. And
there was the Dave Meltzer report. I mean, Fightful did immediately go and say, he was a little bit wrong after it. But he was mentioning in it that Charlotte was trying to rattle Tiffany Stratton in the vein that John Cena and Randy Orton have been known to do with younger. So I mean, she definitely got the better of it, though.
Passed with flying colours.
Absolutely passed with flying colours. So you never know. Maybe that is one of those weird begrudging respect moments, but. Yeah, it's also Charlotte Flair.
And there's also the thing of sometimes we've seen over the history of these sorts of things, when they have this, they just sort of go, look, we don't like each other, but let's go out there and really put on a banger. I think this could be one of the matches of the weekend, or it could fall to pieces. Either way, I'm fascinated to see it. I am going to say heart over head. I'm going to go Tiffany. Like you say, she needs it far more. I think it'd be a hell of a feather in her cap to say I've beaten Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. And I don't think Charlotte needs it. The next feud for Charlotte could be anyone, because as we've seen, she can talk herself into any match. And having her, I just think it's interesting when Charlotte Flair is around and doesn't have a title and isn't going for the world title, basically, to see what else she's got. And you've got so many other people, so many new people coming up to the main. You could just say a call-up you have from NXT. Roxanne Perez has been long overdue coming up. And I know she's been a heel in NXT. But if you bring up babyface Roxanne Perez and Charlotte Flair's immediately no, you don't get this. I'm going to send you back down to NXT, for example. I may have lost to Tiffany Stratton, but I just think there's so many more options, and I think Tiffany's title reign has only just begun for me, but it's Charlotte at WrestleMania. Finally, let's talk about the main event of night one of WrestleMania. It is the triple threat, of course. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, who's winning the T-shirt battle, as we've seen across this weekend. Lots of CM Punk and Larry shirts, in fact. Yeah. This is, you can't. Is there a three-sided coin? I was going to say toss a coin. That doesn't work with a triple threat.
With a triple threat, but I think you can probably just toss a coin and whatever comes up, it's fair. You can't bet against Roman Reigns winning at WrestleMania because it's Roman Reigns again. I think Seth Rollins winning probably opens up more doors for storylines going forwards, but I think at the end of the day, it's CM Punk's first WrestleMania main event. As much as it's kind of been a bit weird the way it's come about, I feel like that as a moment to end night one. Yeah. Him winning, standing tall after main eventing his first WrestleMania after God knows how many years of trying to get there. I feel like that's a moment that they've been chasing since he returned, and I feel like they can't give up on that.
A bit like night two, which we'll get to in our other video, as I said, there's sort of two questions, isn't there? There's who wins the match, and also there's a sort of bonus question. Night two involves The Rock, which we will get to. Night one, we know who Paul Heyman's arriving with, but who's he leaving with? That's the thing, and that may play into the finish of the match, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. I genuinely think it's more fun if he does end up leaving with CM Punk. The promo video package they made of their history and story going back to FCW and things like that was wonderful in terms of how much depth that added to all of this. And I think going forwards, we've had Heyman and Roman Reigns for years now. It's been a wonderful pairing that they have both ridden to the very top of the industry, heights that you couldn't possibly imagine. But I think that's had its time now. It feels like Roman Reigns isn't going to be a full-time guy now going forwards. So it's more interesting now to switch up that Paul Heyman character and have him go out with CM Punk. But at the same time, if he doesn't go with Punk and he went with Roman, but then Punk still wins, and that's another thing that Punk can overcome to make that moment even more special.
And there's been the theories bouncing around that he swerves everyone and goes with Seth Rollins after all this, which I can see happening. I can see, Seth Rollins winning this because he would get the most, arguably, from winning this, and it opens you up to, well, Roman's suddenly on a sort of losing streak at WrestleMania, and Punk hasn't had that WrestleMania main event moment, which maybe he can get next year with a world title involved.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm still going to CM Punk with you.
Yeah, because a bit Big Show, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, that.
I just want to see it. Yeah, it'd be weird, to have Heyman with Seth Rollins just because he, didn't stamp on his head on that Raw? Okay. We don't need any more favour stuff. I've enjoyed it, but I don't need any more from it. And, yeah, it's beyond, to be honest, this is my first ever time seeing CM Punk at a pay-per-view, so I'd like to see him win.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him win in the main event of WrestleMania. And, yeah, we've talked before about how many times WWE have just nailed night one and then put the pressure on night two. They did it both nights last year. Yeah. But certainly this year, I think, with all the noise around the build to WrestleMania, finishing it with CM Punk standing tall and then saying, right, well, CM Punk's won this, which puts him in contention for a world title, of course. Tomorrow night, it's John Cena challenging Cody Rhodes for the big one. It just makes things very interesting. And I'm just so excited for both nights. But let us know your thoughts. Let us know your predictions in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter to see all the latest updates about where we are. Most of the time we'll be at the Luxor, of course. And if you want to check out night 2 of WrestleMania predictions, that is available somewhere around here. Bye.